Welcome back once again, and we've gotten really serious here with our Mayor, Honorable Henry Braun. So let's keep this very light. I mean, thanks for opening up and everything, but let's go with this. Abbotsford, where did it get its name? Now I did some homework too, and what do you
Well,
think?
there's a number of stories about how Abbotsford got its name. Of course, the railway came through here, and the most prevalent story is that it was named after Henry B. Abbott. Braithwaite, I think, was his middle
That
name.
is it.
Um, then other people say that it was named after a place in I don't know if it was England or Scotland now.
England.
England, and it was Abbotsford with two T's, one B and two T's. I think it stayed like that till the 1920s, and then it changed to Abbotsford with two B's and one T. I'm not sure if that's just an urban myth or that actually, I mean, that did happen, but which story is correct, I don't know. Abbotsford, the Ford was pronounced up until I think in the middle 30s or 40s, and then it became Ford. And so some people say Abbotsford, some say Abbotsford.
Yeah.
So I use both depending on where I am, and anyways.
No, that's all right. See, I got that after. I did the same
Yep.
search, and before it even started, I decided to break down the word. So I looked up what Abbott means, and then I looked up what Ford means. And it's funny enough, it actually fits. Now, I brought this up earlier, so
Yes,
we'll
yes.
say like Abbott is actually father or the head priest at a monastery, which is like, oh, Westminster Abbey. And then you think Ford, the meaning of ford is low-lying water, low enough where you can cross,
Yeah.
either in a river or in a lake or a channel. And then you think of what Abbotsford was. It was the
Yeah.
Sumas Flats and the Matsqui.
Sumas Lake, yeah, up
Exactly.
until it was drained in the early
And
1900s.
so in the exact word, you could have been Abbott's
Yep.
Ford. It really actually
there's
fit.
there's a third way.
I know.
So I'll have to do a little research on that
Yeah.
one. I hadn't heard that.
So
So
I literally was like, I'm going to have to ask that one.
yeah.
Okay, now let's get about the facts of Abbotsford that make it very unique. Now I know the air show, Berry Fest. Why don't you throw some at me? I know we're the giving most giving town, or clarify that we are the most
Abbotsford
giving.
is for 13 years straight running has been the most generous city in all of Canada on a per capita basis, and so, which I understand. This is the heart of the city. But more than the air show and more than anything else, agriculture actually has been the backbone of this city since it began. And it remains so today. We have the most productive agricultural land in all of Canada. We produce on a per hectare per acre basis, however, whatever calculation, 3 times what the next geographical area is, the Niagara in Ontario.
Oh wow.
Now, some of that's because of the feather industry, turkeys, broilers, eggs, dairy, but we have the most productive arable land in all of Canada, and we are, in our OCP, are going to protect that. As much, I'm not guaranteeing every square inch, but certainly on the flats, Sumas and Matsqui flats, absolutely. None of that land should come out, and I'm actually thankful that the ALR is there,
I
because
think we
it
need
helps
it.
us.
I think we need it.
Yep.
Land, we're not making more of it, so we got to preserve it.
It's a beautiful city.
Yes, yes.
We have Sumas Mountain, Vetter Mountain. A lot of our friends to the west don't have. I mean, North Vancouver does, but the Langley, Surrey, they don't have mountains. So we have a beautiful environment around us, and we are actually taking that into consideration as we develop the OCP plan, so that we take care of our natural beauty that we have and incorporate that into whatever we do going forward.
Speaking of the natural beauty of Abbotsford, we do have our own international airport, so it's
Yes.
easily accessible. And you might not read about it, but we are a pretty special town here. I know I have pride in my town. I'm born and raised here as well. So now all of you other viewers watching, be proud of your town too. I'm not saying yours isn't good, but something special about
Yep,
this town, I
yep,
have to agree.
yep. And we have a good aerospace cluster that's developing at the airport. There's all sorts of new industries that want to relocate to our airport, both from Canada and internationally, and so we're working very hard to work that into our vibrant economy, which is a cornerstone of this strategic plan for this council.
I could talk about Abbotsford all day,
Yeah, I
but
could
we
too.
are getting very, very tight on time here. So there's 2 things I'm going to ask. You can choose whichever one you'd like to cover. If you could do both, great. Youth initiative and homelessness.
Okay. I'll start with the youth initiative. Of course, you know, we have some issues with gangs, the drug trade between Surrey and Langley, or between Surrey and Abbotsford.
Anywhere.
I mean, they come through Langley too. We are working very hard to work with our schools, school district. We are finding or learning that we need to engage people in grade 4 to educate them, to try to get them not to be enticed with the gang lifestyle and drugs and all of that. And it's hard work. And we have a great police department. They've got some really nice, cool initiatives that they're working on. And we're going to keep hammering away at that. We are making some progress, but we're not where I would like to be. But we have a great chief, great police department, and I'm convinced we'll get there. On the homeless front, we've made great strides there. I think in the last year with the temporary winter shelter, there's 170 people that have gone through that shelter. Last count a couple of weeks ago or 10 days ago. 170 people have come through. 35-ish, I think, have been redirected into more permanent housing, which is good. One of the stats that is surprising to me is that only, I think it's 32% of the people are from Abbotsford. That surprised me. So we're getting them from all of the surrounding municipalities, including Vancouver Island and even a couple from Alberta. But we don't close our doors. I mean, we have to do better than what we were doing. And I'm excited about the new permanent shelter that will be built. It'll be open in May, June next year. It's 31 units. And the temporary winter shelter, the provincial government has granted us funding to just carry right through the summer, through next winter, until that building is finished. And there's a new 50-bed mental health facility that's being constructed. It started a year ago. Should be finished June, July, I think, is the last number I had. So that will help, because when you have an addiction and mental health challenges together and you're homeless, that's a tough uphill battle.
It's a repeating cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't get out of that.
Yeah.
Now, maybe have a bit. Did you want to bring up anything about a Pride Parade? Are we going to have that again next year?
I believe this year it hasn't happened here yet.
Excellent. All right.
So I've been asked to speak, and I will do that.
Good for you.
I know I got a lot of criticism, and so did the council last year. But you know, when you make principled decision, which is what I firmly believe in, when we allow everybody else to fly their flag, on what basis would we say no? There's an equality, justice basis there, and I know I've made some enemies, maybe not enemies, but I've made some people upset by doing that. But if you're going to govern on principle, then I didn't see any other choice, and I think it was the right choice. If I had to do it over again, I'd do the same thing. So,
glad you took that stand here.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go off a couple key words he just said there, and you've thrown me for a loop again. It's going to go back to enemies. They're only enemies based on our perception.
Yeah.
You really don't know what the person is thinking. Now I'm sitting here with the Honourable Mayor of Abbotsford, and would you sit here and think immigrant went through the same hardships of any other foreign families? He was given names, hardship, had to find friends, find a community, build something. So don't judge somebody. When you're sitting across from somebody, get to know them, get to know who they are, where they're from. So I have to thank you for letting us help spill your beans today,
Well, it's a
and
pleasure.
sharing with our audience. Like I really feel like I know you now.
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd share what you did. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Good.
All right,
Pleasure
folks.
to be here.
Pleasure. Make sure you check our websites. We'll have those dates for you. Register for the lunch, the breakfast, the meeting on the 20th, the 28th, and we'll share all that on our website, folks. But thank you again for watching. Until next time.